Welcome to Academic Alliance's spring training. We're so excited and pleased to have you with us here this morning. If you would like to have the captions on, I just wanted to point out that we have turned it on. So if you want to see them, go ahead and push the button at the bottom of your screen that says show captions. We're just going to give you a little bit of updates to our fellow colleagues here at ASU. Super excited about everything going on at the West Campus today, joining you live from there right now. We have some fantastic presenters for everyone this morning. We have the colleges joining us, some of the colleges joining us. We're really excited for them to give you a sneak peek at some great information on things that they think they would like you all to know. With that, we'll get started. We'll be talking about transfer partnerships, transfer enrollment, as well as partnership engagement. Academic Transfer Credit Solutions has some fantastic information for you this morning as well, and some college updates. At the end of our presentation today, we will also be facilitating a training on My Path to ASU. So if you are well aware of all the benefits and the wonderful stuff about My Path to ASU, please feel free to disregard that training. If you are new to ASU or want a refresher, please do feel free to stay tuned in. So we'll start off talking just a little bit about our partnerships and transfer enrollment and how it looks. Academic Alliances works very closely with community colleges across the nation and is signing universal articulation agreements with many. We're up to almost 140 now, which we're really super excited about. You can see them all there, including the districts that we work with as well. So that's really kind of cool and exciting. Here you have some national enrollment trends. This is kind of neat to look at to see when students are transferring to ASU. We see here that the majority of them are transferring into us around their around a junior year, which is great. That means they are staying at the community colleges where they started for the most part. Whether or not that it equates to graduation, we would hope so, but so that's really encouraging for the community colleges and for us. So where are they coming to us from? Well, this slide represents our overall sort of enrollment trends right now for transfer students, keeping in mind that this is combined immersion or in-person and ASU Online together for transfer students. If we were to look only at Arizona, of course, we would see many, many more immersion enrollments in there. And it would look a little bit different, especially from Maricopa. Most of those transfers come to us immersion, as you might imagine. And here's kind of the sort of the transfer pathway landscape. Now, keeping in mind that this is pathway information as opposed to enrollment information. So these are those My Path to ASU pathways that students are signing up for at the community colleges. And we have pathway students in 48 states. We're just shy of 30,000 students within that My Path to ASU transfer guide system. We average just over 700 monthly signups. And of course, this is good, all good news. And you can see some of the top majors there as well that are transferring into us for their pathways that they sign up to while still at the community colleges. We've been looking at our data, which has been really fun for us. And we know now that 95% of pathway learners who applied to ASU applied within 2.5 years of signing their agreement. And that means that they are staying at the community colleges as they had intended to do for the majority of their time, and then they are transferring into ASU. We also know that 48% of My Path to ASU community college students apply to ASU, which is helping to narrow that transfer gap of students who start off at the community college and may not end up coming to a university. Out of those 48%, 87% of admitted immersion students and 85% of online pathway students enroll at ASU. So that's really good news that the pathways are working, right? They're starting out the community college, they're signing up for that pathway, and they end up coming to ASU. So that's what we like to see, helping students succeed and to complete their goals. When we look just very briefly at partnership engagement, we can see that, for the work that we're doing, it's a very iterative and continual process. Very often when community colleges are approached by universities to articulate, they articulate and then they don't hear much from them. That is not the MO of ASU. We keep in contact with our partners on a regular basis. And we're always in touch with them. So that's a very important engagement piece that Academic Alliances is involved with, along with all of the colleges across the entire university. We all work very closely towards progress for community college students because, almost half of the students that study at ASU presently start out as a transfer student. So it is a very important population for our university. And we do this because Dr. Crow had given us the task of solving the national transfer problem, which is that many students that start off at the community colleges have the intention to transfer and complete a bachelor's, but many don't. And that's nationally. At ASU, our numbers are much, much better than this, but we continue to strive to assist them to be able to transfer in their credits and have them apply to their majors, which is really important. We know that students who complete their associate's degree are more likely to transfer into ASU. And we also know that the more credits they can transfer, the more likely they are to come. So that's what went into building that my transfer guide, and you'll be hearing from some folks from that department in just a few minutes. Some exciting news. We continue to grow and develop and innovate. We have some really cool upcoming tools that we're working with partnering community colleges. Some are working on this with us to innovate. We received a Gates grant in order to build more transfer tools. Those tools will allow us to give the ability to students to do things like entering their coursework and seeing, okay, what degree makes the most sense for me that I can transfer the most credits into ASU? Because for transfer students, it's most important. Three things are most important. How many credits can they transfer? How long will it take them to graduate? And how much will it cost them? And these tools will help them to decipher that. We also have some exciting colleges presenting here with us this morning, and we will have the opportunity ongoing for a college to be highlighted each month. So we look forward to working on the colleges with that to really directly reach the community, all of our community college partners on a more regular basis. And with that, I will pass it off to Academic Transfer Credit Solutions.
Thank you, Anique. Good to see everybody. Just some updates for you today, some exciting updates. We'll go through the quick agenda here. We're going to talk to you about My Path to ASU PDF options. We've added ASU sync locations to My Path, and then also talking about upgrading from trademark to registered. So a lot of advisors have asked us for an option to print My Path to ASU. A lot of people still like that hard copy. So there are options to do that. First, you're going to click on Print My Path to ASU. And then you're going to save that to PDF, and that's going to give you the option to either save or print that option so that you can have that hard copy. And we hope this satisfies a lot of needs from students and advisors. Also, ASU Sync has been added as a location at My Path to ASU. Not a lot of colleges have these, but mostly these are showing up in Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, but you can select the ASU Sync location if you need to. Also, you may have noticed on the My Path to ASU, we have moved from trademark to registered, just the next step in our registration process as our tools become more universal. And also, yay, our My Partner portal is live. So for any transfer institution that is curious about particular pathways, any courses or top programs that you're interested in having transfer seamlessly into ASU, you can register here, submit courses or programs for evaluation. Our team of specialists will review those courses and pathways and give you the most efficient and effective ways for your students to transfer into ASU. we're really excited about this. Thank you, Anik.
All right, and now we're going to turn it over to our colleges for some updates and important advising information from them. And we'll start off with the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia Hayden, and I'm trying to get, there we are, here I am. And I work for the School of Computing and Augmented Intelligence, which is just one of the schools within the Ira Fulton Schools of Engineering. I'm a retention coordinator, and my primary role is to work with our transfer students as they transition from the community college into ASU, working in the onboarding, the orientation, working to help our advisors understand best practices for serving transfer students, and really creating some space for them to be able to feel welcomed and comfortable within our program. We are also wanting to introduce a really great opportunity for our transfer students. It is a soft launch that our computer science program is now available online. It is not yet that traditional advising experience where they would be able to complete their 2 years at the community college and transfer over seamlessly, because we're still introducing some of those upper division courses. But in a few years, this will be an opportunity for a traditional transfer experience within that computer science online program. So if you have any students who are interested in that type of experience, it is coming soon. But if you have any questions about any of our degree offerings, computer science, computer systems engineering, engineering management, industrial engineering, informatics, please email me, and I am happy to assist you or your student as they transition here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Blanca Loera, and I work with Alicia on the retention team. And I want to chat with you briefly about our majors. We have predominantly computer science majors, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to explain to our students what the differences are. And so we prepared this slide that hopefully will be helpful to you and your students as they decide which one is best for them. If they want to do online, Alicia explained that computer science and software engineering is available. Computer systems engineering is only at our Tempe campus. Now, one thing that is interesting is that these are probably the ones that students know the most. Most students will seek out computer science. We have a seamless transition from community college into all of these majors. But I do want to take a moment to talk to you about, if we can move forward, an additional option for your students that's called informatics. We do not have an agreement, I believe, for this one quite yet, because we have classes are specific at ASU. But if you have students who love programming, then this may be their major of choice if they're not the strongest in math. This still does have a backbone in math, specifically brief calc and discrete math, the math of computing, but it's more interactive. It's, as you can tell here, it's really with human-computer interaction, and students who want to be more diverse in how they do computing. So if you have any students that want to come over to the university and have the best experience, you can contact Alicia to work with her on what might be a good path for them, because we want to encourage all of our students who have computing dreams to get to the university, to start on the path. And so I will share with you that traditionally, our students in informatics will probably transfer after about a year, so they can stay on track with timely graduation. But if you don't know about informatics, please reach out to us. We can give you some more talking points, but just keep this in the back of your mind for students who love computers. but math is not the strongest points. They're really here for the programming aspect, and we can help build a plan with them to get here and reach their goal.
Thank you all. We're going to transition to the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Casey Self, and I'm the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences Senior Director for Academic Advising. And I have been asked to talk about a few specific things here, and I wanted to first talk about our onboarding process for students who come in, who transfer into ASU in one of our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences majors. We have the 20 academic departments, and then we have the Dean's Office Academic Advising Hub, and we do the initial appointment. So for a first-time brand new transfer student, they will meet with one of our advisors in our advising hub in the Dean's office. We have I have some links here that kind of gives you some information about how that works. And we do ask the students to give us some basic information ahead of time so that we can have the information we need to be able to look at their first semester schedule and help them begin planning what their first semester is going to look like. We make sure all the transfer articulation audits are updated and everything going on before they go to the unit. So during that advising appointment, the students will actually register, hopefully for at least one class, but for all of their classes for that first semester. What we do then is once that the student is registered in at least one class, and maybe for some reason they're not ready for additional classes, we do then get the academic department of the major involved in the advising area. And again, each of those areas has an advising office. And so we have advising committees where the students can tell on their My ASU, and you all can see that as well. If the student shows you their My ASU, who their academic advisor is, and we will update that to the department advising when the student has met with us, registered for the first semester, and then we transition them on. So take a look at My ASU. Next page, please. So I've been asked to talk about the psychology degree here at Arizona State on the Tempe campus. So some bullet points here is the math requirement for the psychology major in Tempe is either going to be Math 119, the finite math, or the pre-calc 170. College mathematics or college algebra will not be the final math for the students majoring in psychology. They will need to have at least one more math after that. Some of the most common courses that students transfer in is Psych 101, the stats class, which is our 230, 290, which is our research methods. Sometimes with out-of-state students, if those courses are not already articulated with your particular major, we maybe would encourage those students to connect with us so that we can figure out if the courses are equivalent for the research method and the stats classes. One thing about the psychology major is it does only have one undergraduate, or excuse me, lower division elective in the major. And so there will only be, besides those three, the 101, 230, and 290, there will only be one additional elective course that the students will be able to take at the community college before transferring to ASU, and then have the rest of the upper division requirements left. I put a link here for both the BA in psychology and the BS in psychology, and a little bit there about what type of students might be interested in either the BA or the BS program, whether they're looking at going to counseling, social work, human services. That would be more of the Bachelor of Arts. And then the Bachelor of Science would be more thinking about going to medical school, experimental psychology, getting a PhD. So those are some generalities, but take a look at those web pages and they can give you some more. One of the things that our psychology department does is they have a brand new transfer student, it's called the Spark New Psychology and Neuroscience Majors Welcome each fall semester. We really encourage our students to attend that in the fall semester so that they get to meet the faculty, they get to meet the advisors in the department. They also get to learn about all sorts of clubs and organizations, and some of those are listed there in the psychology department that the students may want to get connected to during their very first semester. And the last comment I'll make about psychology is that the Tempe campus is not the online degree psychology major. That is offered through our colleagues at the ASU West Campus, New College of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, but the Tempe campus majors are only immersion based. Next slide, please. And then the last thing I would like to talk a little bit about is all of our Bachelor of Arts majors at ASU do require a second language. And there were questions about how can a student meet a second language requirement. We have a web page. Again, I provided a hyperlink off this web page there, but the 4 ways are the following. First, they can take courses at the community college or other institution, and through the 202 level, which is basically if somebody's starting off brand new, it's 101, 102, 201, 202. So 4 semesters, typically 16 credits that they would transfer in. They can also do the language proficiency examination, maybe through AP or Cambridge or the CLEP or IB. And again, as if they get to the 202 level, that would be as far as they need to go. If your institution offers courses that are not articulated for language, we can certainly look at those and do some of the practices that were explained earlier to get those courses articulated and have them be evaluated to determine whether those can be used to meet the language requirement. And then the final option is if the student happened to attend another institution that is not an English language institution. And we have details on how the student can provide proof of that on the web page. And then for those of you that are looking for language placement information, maybe a student wants to kind of see, well, where am I? I gave a link right there for the language placement. So that's all the information I have at this time. It was great talking to you, and I'm going to let it move on.
Thank you, Casey. And now we'd like to hear from the WP Carey School of Business.
Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Hosh. I'm the manager for enrollment for the WP Carey School of Business. As we're looking at the next steps for our transfer students, we want to highlight these areas. And this is what we're going to talk about for all of our students at WP Carey. But what's nice about WP Carey is that students will have 30+ degree options. So this is traditionally going to be twice as much as other institutions. So as we move forward, students will have an array of options as they are progressing in their degree. Now, as transfer students, they'll note that the classes that they're going to be taking when they get to ASU are going to be specific to their major once they're here. So nearly identical is the first 2 years. So if students are deciding between their options, they will still have a little bit of time once they're here. But ultimately, with that time, we want to make sure that we emphasize that students are looking at their specific degree and knowing that if they do change their mind, there's a lot of options. We are also top ranked, so we're top 23 in regards to the overall business college. So any program that the student is choosing is going to be highly ranked. We're going to talk about today direct admission and academic advising with my other colleagues, but I also want to note for our transfer students that they're going to have career coaching. That's something that we highlight, especially as a transfer student that maybe already has the skills. Just honing in on those, especially for students looking in particular majors, the career coach will help and advise, and they will take classes with our career coaches to make sure that they're progressing towards that career path that we want them to have. So I'll pass it over to Tawny for the next slide.
Thanks, Courtney. So one of the things that we want to highlight specifically out of all the resources that we have are academics. So all of our students are assigned a specific academic advisor based on their major and then their last name. So all of our students are working with someone who specializes in the major that the student is pursuing. And students can schedule appointments with their assigned advisor whenever they like, whenever works best for them, up to a week in advance, and they can schedule it however they want, either through in person, by phone, or via Zoom. Other things that we offer at WP Carey is tutoring services. Typically, it's only going to be for our lower division classes, but sometimes there is tutoring available for some of our upper division courses as well, and various formats, various tutors and buildings and things like that that a student can go to and utilize. We also have over 30 student orgs and student organizations in WP Carey, over 1,000 at ASU, and within WP Carey as well, we have lots of other leadership opportunities that students can get involved with outside of just student orgs. And then, of course, we partner with our Study Abroad office to offer programs all over the world and in all different formats as well. So traditional semester and summer programs, but we also offer really unique like post-spring, post-winter, like that are like, I think 12 to 15 days. And we also have a spring break experience as well. So there's all kinds of opportunities that our business students can take advantage of as related to academics and beyond. So we just wanted to highlight that they have a lot. So I'll pass it to Alfred to talk about our direct admission.
All right, thanks, Tani. So direct admission is one of the unique things about WP Carey. A lot of our peer institutions do not offer direct admission, so we do like to be very upfront with our prospective students. We have two types of degrees that we do offer. So a Bachelor of Arts degree requires a minimum of a 3.0 cumulative transfer GPA. And that is often the point of confusion for students. It's not just their most recent GPA, but cumulative based on their whole entire academic record. And then we have some programs that are Bachelor of Science. Those are going to be more of your traditional business disciplines like accounting and finance that will have additional requirements. So the student would have to meet one of the criteria listed, top 8% high school class rank, a 3.4 unweighted high school GPA based on ASU competency courses, 25 on the ACT, or a 1230 on the SAT without the writing portion. This is one of the things that a lot of transfer students don't know. So as you are working with our students, please let them know that there are additional requirements in addition to their transfer pathway courses that they're taking. It does not guarantee admission just completing the courses. They will have to meet this criteria. Now, if a student does not meet this criteria, there is a third option for them called the admissions portfolio. We have the link right here on the slide. And this is a more holistic application. So for a student who has basically completed their lower level business courses, they will go ahead and submit this holistic application where we will look at the grades that they got in those business GPA, factors like leadership, work experience, and things like that. And basically, at that point, the department that they're applying to will make a decision whether or not to admit that student into the program. So we don't want students to give up hope. There are opportunities through the admissions portfolio, but we always stress that that is not a guarantee. So direct admission is the best way to get admitted. For the students have that power to get admitted through that direct admission. The portfolio will be a separate application that doesn't guarantee admission. So we want them to kind of know that going into the process. And that's all I have. We can pass it over to the next school.
Thank you, Alfred. Now we're going to hear from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Ransom, and I'm the manager for the advising office in the Herberger Institute. We are the country's largest arts and design college under a public university. We're comprised of 5 schools in the ASU Art Museum. And last fall, we topped out just over 7,000 undergrads. Today, we've been asked to talk about 2 specific majors. So on the next slide, we're going to kick it off with talking about our architecture program. Our architecture program has recently, in the past 2 years, kind of gone through a big change. Where in the past, it was a very regimented, sequenced degree program. It has now kind of swung the other direction and is now a more open-ended and flexible program. It is more friendly for transfer students. And depending on what kinds of prior experiences and credits they transfer in, they can often complete the program in 2.5 to 3 years. Whereas in the past, they almost were basically told they had to start over and it would be a 4-year-long experience. So we're really excited about the changes we've been able to implement recently. Is one of the things I would like to comment on is wonderful as ASU's transfer resources are in the My Path to ASU. For our program, we are very flexible. And so we would like to be in touch with any prospective transfer students early to provide them with alternative substitutions that some of our ASU tools do not make quite explicit to prospective transfer students. Architecture is a discipline that requires very specific professional licensure beyond undergraduate education. So at the bottom of the slide, I've included some information regarding that professional licensure information. Folks who want to become licensed as architects predominantly will go through the pathway outlined by NCARB, the National Council for Architecture Registration Boards, which require a NAB accredited degree, architecture experience program, which is professional internship work, and completing a state's architecture registration examination. At ASU, our accredited NAB degree is the Masters of Architecture program. So when a student completes their Bachelor's of Science and Design in Architectural Studies, if they're intending to become licensed as a professional architect, they would go on to complete their master's degree. Our master's program is also available for folks who have not completed an undergraduate degree in architecture. If they've completed any other kind of undergraduate background, it is just 1 year longer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy, and I'm the lead advisor at Herberger for interior design students. And so our interior design program is accredited, and we do tend to focus more on commercial than residential. We do have a few residential classes, but I would say 90% of the program focuses on designing a commercial space. And we accept most lower division general studies. And for our math requirement, we do require pre-calculus and then physics for the general studies. And then for interior design, it is a very structured program, so not always the most transfer friendly. So normally how it works is like term 1, your critical studio classes would be your prerequisite to get into the following term. So for that reason, it is an 8-semester, 4 years long program. And we usually recommend students start in the fall. They're more than welcome to start in the spring, but they would be adding another semester. So it would take them 9 semesters rather than 8. And we do have a partnership with the community college. So at the moment, we're only accepting studio classes from term 1 and term 3. The goal is long-term. We're hoping to be a lot more flexible and build a partnership with the community college to set more classes. And then if they take any interior design classes at the community college, they would be considered electives towards their major.
Thank you to Amy and to all of our college colleagues. We are at the point of the presentation that if you are super experienced and knowledgeable about My Path to ASU, ASU admissions, ASU Online, and the communications that we share with students, then we hope you have a great day. Or if you want to stay on with us, or if you're new to ASU, or just want a refresher, please stay on and we'll go into some of our basics. So you feel very well equipped to help students who might be thinking about transferring to ASU. So my name is Kathy. I work in the Academic Alliances office. I'm a program coordinator for community college engagement, and I want to share with you the benefits of My Path to ASU. So the tool helps students save time and money by planning their degree out course by course and term by term. So that minimizes the loss of transfer credit for them so that they can stay on track to graduate in an efficient manner. And then they are allowed, or they are able with My Path to ASU to track their progress using part of it called My Transfer Guide. And we'll show you that in just a moment. They receive personalized communications along the way to make sure that they're ready for a smooth transfer. They get invitations to online and in-person events from us when they are signed up for My Path to ASU. And they also are guaranteed admission to the major of their choice if all requirements are satisfied. So to piggyback on what Alfred mentioned a little bit earlier about business, the students not only need to meet the courses that are listed on their pathway, but they also need to meet all of those special requirements that different majors might have. And so this video is just going to show you a little bit, kind of an overview of how, as somebody who supports transfer students, would show them how to use the tool or even just look up requirements for them. So, oh, I'm sorry, it always wants to do that. There we go. Okay. So you can see that you can search all of the majors if you're not a student and you don't just click on that other button to sign up. You put in your major that you're interested in looking at, where and then where you're transferring from or where your student will be transferring from. The choices narrow down for you, so you don't have to try to figure all of those out on your own. And then there's all of those special requirements that I was mentioning before. So you can see that it looks very much like a traditional transfer guide, except for that it's an electronic copy. It's maintained by our Academic Transfer Credit Solutions department. So it's very current and interactive. It's also powered by the fact that we have over 1 million courses in our course bank. So you'll see lots of equivalencies on there. And there's also an opportunity to, let me stop that video. There you go. There's also an opportunity to submit a course for evaluation if you don't see an equivalency at your institution on there. So when a student's ready to sign up, they click on that button that you just saw and they enter where they are going to school. They enter some basics about what they want to study here at ASU and when they plan to transfer, basic biographical information. They sign off on the FERPA statement, recognizing that ASU and your institution, their institution, will share their academic information in order to help them have a smooth transfer and get those benefits of the guaranteed admission. And then at that point, they're able to sign in at any time. If they've ever been to ASU before, then they would click on the sign in under I have an ASU account. Otherwise, they would click in, or they would sign in under I registered without an ASU account. And then they would go straight to their transfer guide because they're signed up for My Path to ASU. It knows what the major is that the student's following. And here's how that transfer guide works. It's very, very similar to what we just saw, but more interactive. You don't have to put in all that information again because it knows what you're planning to major in it. It knows your pathway. If a student changes their mind and wants to major in something else, they can sign up for a new pathway, and then ASU looks at the most recent pathway as what they're planning to do. It's also free to sign up. And then if they decide against ASU, if they decide to go somewhere else, there's no harm done. So if they're even considering transferring to ASU, we strongly recommend that they sign up for My Path to ASU to have all of the information they need for smooth planning. And so you could see that students are able to mark courses as completed or in progress. And then, as Tyler mentioned before, that PDF option doesn't show on this particular video, but it is available to them if a printed copy helps them. Here's a close-up of that transfer guide. Just wanted to point out some tabs across the top. Of course, we were on the My Path to ASU tab, but there's also a course search if they went anywhere other than your institution, so they can look up other courses and see how they would transfer and apply at ASU. And then exam search tells them what kind of credit that they would, or the amount of credit they would receive for certain scores on tests like CLEP and AP, IB, and so on. And then student resources has some miscellaneous and other updating tools. And with that, I will turn things over to my colleague, Melanie.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So one of the really great benefits for your students of signing up for My Path to ASU is that they're entered into the communications flow. They'll receive communications from the college that they indicated on their pathway. So it's another really great way for your students to start building that connection to their college and receiving college-specific information. And just a great way for your students to start getting involved even before they start their very first semester. They'll also receive various communications throughout the enrollment cycle from admissions services. So it'll provide information on important dates and deadlines, as well as a welcome email from our transfer student ambassadors, who are all transfer students from the community colleges themselves. And as I mentioned, our transfer student ambassadors are a really awesome resource that we have. They serve as sort of a liaison to the university. They provide support to your students as former transfer students themselves. They can help them navigate the university if your students aren't quite sure who to connect with. And they also facilitate their very own peer-to-peer workshop called Fun Fridays with the Transfer Student Ambassadors. It's a really great way for your students to connect with other transfer students who've gone through the process themselves. They share what their transfer journey was like to ASU, as well as helpful hints and tips they learned along the way, things they wish they had learned. And they will also provide an opportunity to assist students signing up for My Path to ASU if they haven't already. So we really encourage your students to reach out to our TSAs, and they'd love to get back in touch with them. And we hope to see your students at one of their Fun Friday webinars. And these are just some more examples of communications and transfer student resources that are available for you and your colleagues who work with transfer students. We have a My Path to ASU insert that's available digitally, and we can also provide hard copies if your schools would like that. And if you go to our digital transfer resources page, it's filled with all sorts of electronic resources specific to transferring to ASU. We also have various videos showing the My Path to ASU experience and highlights of our transfer students who have all come from community colleges. So we invite you to check that out on our Academic Alliance's partnership resources page as well. And of course, we invite you to follow our social media channels. When we partnered with your community college, we did a partnership launch through social media. And if you ever have, ASU swag at your college and you would like to send us a picture with it, or maybe a student who utilized My Path to ASU and has transferred or is going to be transferring to ASU, we would love to connect with that student and highlight them in a transfer student story. So please feel free to follow us. It's a great way to stay on top of announcements and news with transfer at ASU and My Path to ASU. And we look forward to hopefully doing more social media campaigns with your colleges in the future.
All right. Thanks, Melanie. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Martin. I'm the Assistant Director for our regional and our military recruitment with ASU. Just a couple of things on this slide here, just a couple of highlights, if you will. We like to say we are a university that represents the world. So with that, we do have students from over 136 different countries. We have roughly around 4,600 transfer students that come in every year. And then the biggest thing as well is we do have direct rolling admissions available throughout the year. So we like to say, as long as you have that application submitted before the start of the semester and it's evaluated, you'll have an opportunity to attend ASU at your preferred semester as well. Next slide, please. So with ASU as well, so we do have 5 distinctive campuses throughout the greater metropolitan Phoenix area. And this is just an example of what that may look like if you're not familiar with the Phoenix area. All of our campuses, just so you know, they're all self-sustainable. We do have shuttle services that run through each campus as well. But just know that each campus has its own unique set of features. And I'll talk about those here in the next slide. So we like to say, again, one university in many places. So when I say 5 distinctive campuses, that's counting our Lake Havasu campus as well. But our 4 campuses that I'm going to touch on here is our downtown Phoenix campus. Again, that's home to our students preparing for careers in healthcare, law, government, nonprofit, public social services, journalism, media, things of that nature as well. And then we have our Polytechnic campus, which is located in our East Valley. That's home for students studying our integrative sciences and arts, engineering, management, technology, and education. And then we have our West Campus, which is one of our smaller campuses. It blends a liberal arts education combined with, like, let's say, a 21st century leadership preparation, right? And it's home to more than 50 undergraduate and graduate degree programs. Again, that's for more of our students located on the West Valley are those students that just look for that small, close community style feel. And then our last campus that I'm going to touch on is our Tempe campus, which is our more historical campus that offers hundreds of majors that engage undergraduate and graduate students in a multitude of different opportunities as well. Along with our Pac-12 sports, Sun Devil Stadium as well. Again, that's our more historical campus. It has roughly around 60,000 or so students on this particular campus. But again, all of our campuses are all self-sustainable. So regardless of what campus your student choose, know that they'll get everything they need on that campus, but they're not tied to that individual campus as well. Excellent. So we have a couple of different ways to learn at ASU. So we have our full immersion in Arizona and in California. Our California campus is located in Los Angeles. It's at our Harold Examiner building located in downtown. And then we have our ASU local that combines about 130 degree programs of online majors, I should say, that students can take without leaving the Los Angeles community. And then we have our ASU Sync courses, which is essentially our Zoom classes where a student can take classes in real time from anywhere in the world. And then last year, we have our ASU Online option as well, where a student can take either undergraduate or graduate courses taught fully online through a multitude of, taught by the same professors that teach our ASU immersion courses as well. So again, lots of different ways to learn at ASU, depending on what is best for the student. And again, I know you can become inundated with all the different options we have, right? So we do have a couple of resources for students. One is our degree search. If you're not sure exactly what each program looks like, it has our major maps as well. We have our degree search where you can essentially just put in what you're looking for, and it'll pull up all degree options that we have on campus as well. And if you're not sure which direction to go, in concert with work with your advisor, you can actually do our major and career quiz, which is essentially a resource for you to figure out what program is best for you based on your individual interests and where you're trying to go with your career. Same with our campuses as well. If you're not sure which campus is going to be best for you, we have what's called our Campus Fit resource as well, where you can essentially put in what you're looking for in a campus. And from there, it'll let you know which campus may be your best available option. Some financial resources. So we have our ASU tuition estimator. If you want to know exactly what your cost is going to be while attending ASU, you can essentially use our ASU tuition estimator, which again, you just put in your major, where you're coming from, whether you're a resident, non-resident, online, or immersion, and they'll let you know what those costs looks like. We recommend that every student completes a FAFSA, regardless of whether you're using financial aid or not, because a lot of our scholarships are needs-based. And so most of that is predicated on your FAFSA. And then we have our scholarship portal as well, where a student can search pages and pages of different scholarships that they may be eligible for, that you do have to apply for. And again, some are needs-based, some are not, some have deadlines, some do not. But again, this is another resource for you as well. And then student employment. We have thousands and thousands of jobs each year for students to work on campus as well. So lots of different financial resources for students. As far as other resources for students as well, again, as you see the list here, we have everything from mentorship programs to safety applications, to counseling, to coaching, to academic advising. So regardless of what you feel that you may need, there's a resource available for you on our campus as well. And this is for immersion and for online students as well. So the biggest piece, how do I get into ASU? So we're proud on the fact that we have a very transparent admissions process. What that means is if you meet the requirements, you'll get in. That's essentially what this means here. So on this chart here, if you have less than 12 credits, you have to meet all of the first year requirements, basically. Between 12 and 24, you have to meet the transfer requirements and the first year requirements. 24 credits or more, it's all transfer GPA. So 2.5 is the university admission requirements. As you heard from our college partners earlier, that some of those programs do have higher admission requirements, but the university requirement is a 2.5. So as long as a student meets that as a transfer student with 24 more credits, and they meet the requirements for the degree, then they can move forward confidently knowing that they're able to be a Sun Devil. So other scholarship opportunities we have, Raise Me, which is essentially a micro scholarship program where a student essentially signs up, they put in their achievements, and they can redeem up to $2,000 for these particular scholarships as well. So it's just another resource for our transfer students. And then the next slide, Earn and Learn. Again, essentially it's a savings scholarship program where essentially a student saves $500 and then we match that 8-to-1 where they'll essentially receive $4,500 as well. So again, just another resource for your students to achieve extra money to support their educational journey. So for those of you that have military students or work with military students, we do allow up to 60 transfer credits through military experience, which is located on the joint service transcript as well. And so the thing about our joint service transcript, the students, it's not required that they send those in, but we always recommend it regardless. So submit their JST, and this is different from the CCAF, which is the Community College of the Air Force. The JST is not required, the CCAF is required, but for our military experience, it is up to 60 credits. And then we also award credit for military experience as well. So as you can see here on the chart, up to 8 units, up to that 60 credit mark as well for our military veterans and active duty service members. So with the max credits transferable being 64 for most programs, we do have 3 options for students where they can transfer up to 75 credit hours, as long as they have completion of an associate's degree in interdisciplinary studies, liberal studies, or organizational leadership. They have an option of transferring up to 75 credit hours in those programs. And then for those students that are admitted to a BSN nursing program, they can transfer up to 75 transfer credits as well. And then just other resources for you as well. Our transfer events, we have virtual tours, different sessions as well. You can see here all transfer events, whether it's virtual or on campus, just other options for your students to get engaged and become familiar with the ASU processes. And then lastly, each community college partner, you all have a transfer student admission rep that is assigned to your particular school. So this is how to find them. With that being said, that concludes my portion. I'll pass it over to Helena.
Thank you, Kevin. My name is Yelena and I work for Ed Plus, which is division of ASU that houses ASU Online. And a great number of transfer students coming from out of Arizona choose to actually stay at home and attend ASU through a virtual experience. So I wanted to start by saying that all the tools that Kevin has shared with you, including degree search, Me3, will be also useful for the online students, and students can even take a campus quiz. And if the online campus is best suited for them, they will find out. Currently, ASU Online offers over 300 degrees offered asynchronously, meaning students can take them at any time and watch lectures, take quizzes, take tests based on their time zone. Almost all quizzes and tests are open 24 hours. So no matter which time zone student is at, the studying will be most appropriate for them. Somebody mentioned earlier that the same faculty that teaches ASU Online teaches ASU immersion courses. And this was done with much intentionality because we get questioned often whether Arizona State University diploma makes a distinction between studying on campus or studying online, and it does not. It is same rigor, same expectations. So students, regardless of modality, receive the same diploma. ASU Online offers flexible start dates, so students can start up to 6 times a year, and fall and spring classes are 7.5 weeks long in most cases. On rare occasions, some engineering and math classes are still 15 weeks long. And then summer classes are a little bit more compressed and more fast-paced. Not only can classes be accessed from anywhere 24 hours a day, but so can technical help, which is very important for our students. So 24/7 If a student experiencing any difficulties, there is a help via chat or call available. So technical help is just one of a very developed suite of services that our ASU Online students have. They have access to digital libraries, to extensive career services, both based for the entire ASU and also based in certain colleges for certain majors. They can even study abroad. Online tutoring is widely used. 360 Life Services is counseling services and connects students with local resources where they live. I'm not going to go over all of them, but they're constantly being added. Now online students have access to Barrett's Honors College experiences and also research opportunities. And in the next few slides, I will go quickly through the process that your students experience when they express interest into ASU. They're immediately connected first with an enrollment coach who stays with them through the entire experience and starts with exploring careers, exploring degrees that are potential interest for the student, then guides them through the application step by step if necessary to make sure student fills out everything correctly, then kind of works with students to does the difficult part, getting the extra documentation, sending in transcripts, and basically assures that students has individualized help and support to assure a strong start. And they're there with the student until the classes start. But even before classes start, student is connected with their success coach. Success coach is a non-academic mentor advisor who provides one-to-one coaching to students throughout their academic career at ASU. They're trained to connect with ASU resources. They can help with course registration. If a student is coming to us via employee partner benefits, they can help with that, but they're also trained to work in organizational tips, goal setting, study strategies. So really they partner with the student. So regardless, again, where student is living, they have their own person at ASU that is always available via chat, text, email, portal during the regular business hours. And finally, last step in the preparation, assuring successful start, is that transfer students are invited to complete a 1 week long transfer student orientation. It has shown that students who do complete this orientation definitely start better off, have higher retention and more success in their classes. It's a 1 week long instructor-led class, and again, helps students who might be new to the online environment, even though they've been studying at community college and received their associates, have that support and strong start. And finally, many students come to us from one of many partnerships that ASU Online has. I wanted to highlight two. First one is College Achievement Plan from Starbucks. That plan basically allows benefit eligible partners to earn their first time bachelor degree without any personal cost to them when it comes to programming fee and tuition. We've had over 20,000 participants and almost 9,000 graduates at this point. So if you have students who are about to graduate with their associates, wondering how do they finance that second portion of their higher education, please consider some of the employers who offer benefits. Uber is the second one. It also provides 100% tuition coverage for qualifying drivers, delivery people, Uber Eats as well. And this one is just a little bit different and a little bit more, more generous in a way, because the education reward can be passed on to a spouse, child, sibling, parent. So if you have a student who is not interested in driving an Uber, maybe they can convince their parent or a partner to do so. So if you have any questions about ASU Online, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would be very happy to answer any of them.
Thank you, Yelena. Well, that brings us to the end of today's program. As I put in the chat, if you happen to see it, we will accept any questions you have through the chat. I don't see the Q&A in front of me right now, but the chat, I know that we can download that. So please enter any questions. I'll stay on for a moment so that you have some time. If you want us to get back to you about something, please include your email address. And then also, as I put in the chat, we're recording this session. We will be letting all of our transfer partners know how to access the recording if you want to look back at it, or if you want to share it with any of your colleagues. And so I want to thank all of our presenters for joining today. And most of all, I want to thank all of our national partners across the nation for your partnership and for joining us today. And we're here for you if we can provide transfer support in any way. And so I'll stay on for just a moment, but I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. All right, thanks again. Take care.